what fuck? How about this? I'm so fucking bogged down off of like just what happens here in the area of Philadelphia. I don't even like take it in. I woke up. I forgot what day it was. My homegirl in Tampa, Florida. I got a text thread. She texted me like 7 times. Like, hey, are you okay? Was anybody affected? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like half sober. Like I'm like, and she's like, there was a mass shooting. I'm like, mass shooting. I ain't talking about the shit in South Street, but that's how fucked up it is. But the world and the other cities or other states, it's a mass fucking shooting because more than 5 people were shot.
Yeah.
More than 5 people were shot. I swear to God. Shout out to my homegirl Yandy down in fucking Tampa. Asked me, was anybody affected by what the fuck happened over the weekend in South Street? What the fuck's going on? What are we doing? What's going on in Philadelphia? Is it Philly? Is it anywhere with us?
It's the world, bro.
What the fuck?
People just wilding out everywhere, man. Like nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's just, and the weather getting hot. Everybody just want to like wild out and do crazy shit. And then, like nobody want to fight anymore. Everybody got to carry a burner and be the man and shit. Like nobody wants to throw hands anymore. And everybody got
that's that. Can I say, all right, I'm going to say this. Motherfuckers should be like, no, you sound like an old ass troglodyte or old fucking man. This fucking music. This drill music, this shit that's out that these kids are pumping, it's like I can never get onto it because it just didn't make sense. It was never on beat. I didn't like the production. And then now all of a sudden, the shit that they were rapping about like in Chicago years ago was real. You got dudes 15, 16, Rondo number 9. He killed like 20 people. He's doing like life. People forgot about him, like the OG guys. Fredo Santana, Chief Keef, Rondo, and all these dudes were really, really doing this shit they were talking about in their fucking raps. And somehow, some way that is crossed into Philadelphia culture. I'm not around the kids. You are with the kids. But for me, I just always remember for us, when we go out of town, when we step in anywhere outside of Philadelphia, yo, where you from? We from Philly. Oh, how'd you know? The beards, polo, Timbs, and the way we dressed. We pushed it together and we got respected. Now all of a sudden we are taking other cultures and indoctrinating it into our fucking city. And I'm trying to understand how that became fucking cool. When the fuck did people from the 56 and 52nd make it?
Yeah, dog.
That shit don't make any sense to me.
It's the internet, bro. And I mean, like, it's this. I mean, this is for me a deeper issue, and it's a rabbit hole that I can go down. And I'll try not to for the sake of time. But for the first thing you have to understand is that like there is no more mystique about anybody's culture.
Okay,
everybody's culture is for show.
Okay.
So like when we would travel as younger men and people would recognize you from Philly is because it was a rarity to see somebody who carried it like we carried it.
Facts.
Now somebody can be online, follow a bull from Philly, and be like, I'm gonna start rocking my hat this way,
like
or
that. Facts.
Wearing my clothes this way, or doing all that stuff. So there is no more. As much as the internet has brought us together, it also has brought us together.
It's divisive as well.
I don't know if it's divisive, but it's just brought us together. So it's like, as far as this segregation that existed naturally before, just due to the lack of access, that doesn't exist anymore. If you have kids who are growing up in similar environments as Chicagoans, then they're going to embrace that culture.
I see what you're doing.
I'm poor too.
Man.
I got enemies too.
Yeah.
We got gangs here as well, which they do.
They got gangs. Yeah.
But we got gangs here as well.
Oh yeah, dog. They're everywhere.
I know they got gangs, but
these young boys have gangs, man. They got
gang,
real
all
gangs,
that weird shit.
stuff. And it's like, I'm with a group of young boys that's good, that I'm mentoring, whatever. And I'm like, I'm like, let's take a picture. We take a picture. Like, oh, yo, don't throw no gang signs up. I'm like, where am I? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's fucked up.
I thought that was you just throw gang. Like, I mean, I don't know.
No,
like,
it's real shit.
But they got real like sets that they claim or whatever. The young boy who you know what I mean, I'll name nameless, but he just got caught with a ghost gun and had to be removed from the.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like he trying to protect himself. Which is that's the culture.
He got to get the fuck home.
Or right. You know what I mean? That's the culture. So it's like it's and it's really. What I say, like one of the books that I always suggest that everybody reads, I shared it with you, Ta-Nehisi Coates, and I can't. The title escapes me right now.
I thought it was with the Epigee book or whatever. I forgot.
No, the Ta-Nehisi Coates, but it's basically he talks about black bodies and how from slavery our bodies aren't valued. It's along the lines of Black Lives Matter, but it's just specifically about the young lives of and black bodies and how we're only seen as we're seen as disposable, whether it be through sports or whatever.
Between the World and Me.
Yes, thank you. Between the World and Me.
Swaggy too.
And so, it's a great book. I recommend everybody reads it, honestly, no matter what your race, culture, creed, or whatever it is. But you can't really begin to respect life until you feel respected. And that comes from yourself, and then that comes from obviously the world, but it's to start at home. And you touched on it briefly when you said like there's an absence of fathers and all of those things, and that's also true.
It's fucked up, but it is, dude.
But it comes from, it's not just coming from one thing. I did post what you shared with me about the drill music, because I thought that I just love to see a young person of the culture articulate himself in that way, and I thought it was powerful to even have to start the conversation, whether I agree with him 100%.
Shout out to Molly 215.
It's not even a point. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's bringing up the issue of like, yo, be careful what you
put out in the universe.
What you put out in the universe and what you consume as young people. And so the issue, I've been losing students on average.
The fact that
to gun violence on average, I've been teaching for 13, 14 years or whatever. I lose at least 2 to 3 students a year to gun violence.
Are you serious?
We never really talked about that.
And whether I know them directly or not, they were a part of my community, you know what I'm saying? And like I have several that I've taught. I have a young lady who always sticks out to me that was just a bystander that was shot just watching the fight, and somebody put a gun out and she died.
I remember that.
And it's just like it's been going on forever, and we just keep going on forever. So it's like it's funny because when you see the shootings that happened at the supermarket and I think it's Uvalde, or how you say that? Uvalde, thank you.
Texas.
And then you hear like the Steve Kerrs and the senators, and they had their moments. It's like that's been happening on a very small level in inner city. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, a small level, but not on a national level.
Yeah, it's more constant or more frequent.
It happens all the time. And like me and my colleague who I'm close with, we've cried about it as grown black men. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like it's nothing we can do. You're going to, every year you're going to lose a few. You know what I mean? And it's like one of the kids who was shot down South Street is a graduate of my local high school in 2020. You know what I mean? He was down there celebrating his birthday. He wasn't doing nothing wrong. And he just caught one going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, you can't, that's a place where you just go get a slice of pizza and celebrate the culture of Philadelphia. It's not.
You never thought about that shit as kids.
I did.
Never.
I never thought about no gunshots down there ever.
Not down South Street.
Down there. No, not down there.
We was kids. I never thought of no gunshots down there. The worst I would see, we see fights. We just see the fights, and it will be like a straight fight. That should be over.
Yeah, I mean it's different times.
That shit crazy.
Then there's a whole nother impact about with COVID and all of the
I was going to go there too.
All of the relief of COVID and how it's been dumped into the inner city.
Talk about it.
And you want to see that money, those loans, and all of the checks that were given in advance for children, for taxes, and all of the relief that was put into the inner city. And it's like, if I was halfway in the streets selling drugs, or halfway in the streets being a shooter, or halfway in the streets being a scammer, and you just gave me all these resources, I'm going to double down on that.
Yeah, it's a lick.
Then simultaneously, shout out to Kimba and all other officers in Philadelphia, right? They put restrictions on police officers to enforce, the law because of COVID. You don't want to have overpopulating of
people, things like that.
Jails.
And so, I'm not a heavy conspiracy theory boy, but it smells like, you know what I mean?
Some shit.
Natural order type situation, a little sprinkle of natural order. Like, let me just feed the animals, so to speak.
Don't feed the animals.
You know what I mean? And so it's you live in this world, and you just like I always say to you, like, you just gotta have kind of tunnel vision about who you can impact, and continue to do your part to counteract the bullshit. You know what I mean? And so like, I'm raising mine. I mentor who I can mentor. I have, I speak to who I can speak to. I walk a certain way. I carry myself a certain way. And as long as I'm doing those things, I can't get too high or too low. It sucks because you do become kind of desensitized to the violence. I definitely am.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't like, I definitely am desensitized to it until it starts to get closer
And
to home. Like when it hits the kids,
Man.
I'm like, all right, like just I'm feeling a little out of sorts here. And then even in that, that's fleeting.
Yeah.
I had my moment that's like, what can I do?
Man.
But what I've been
Right.
doing. You know what I mean? So
Carry on. Yeah.
you know.
Man. That's a touchy one because there's so many variables with this. Like you just said, he hit on it with the resources. I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying this is like since like episode 12 or 13. Like this summer is going to be a fucking wild summer. It's going to be a bunch of broke, angry.
It's already been that
motherfuckers.
way.